So this is question 1 from the Reading Cats. I'm going to talk through before you start with your team. I'm just going to tell you what I I would do as a strategy when beginning to answer the questions, and I want you to practice as well. I do notice I'm going to go right to the question, and this question has a small sentence that is italicized. This tells me that that italicized sentence is probably pulled from the actual passage. So they're isolating just a piece of that passage and they're going to ask me something about it. I assume, based on what I know about the test, that they're going to ask me either to revise it or to consider the placement of it. That's what usually happens. So the question is right here. So your eye should go to isolate the question versus isolating this italicized part from the text. And the question, which of the following versions of sentence 3 best previews the line of reasoning? Notice I left out reproduce below in parentheses. I also left out in the passage because we understand, we just know that. And so when you're reading questions, that is a strategy to eliminate phrases like between parentheses in the passage or reproduce below. Okay, so your eye should go to a location. In other words, they might say, at the beginning, as an introduction, as a conclusion, this one is preview, and preview the line of reasoning. So think about what you know of sentences that preview the line of reasoning, and talk for a minute with your partner about things, or think for a minute, if you're by yourself, about attributes or characteristics or things that you know about a sentence that previews the line of reasoning. So just press pause and I will come right back. So when I think about previewing, I think of it as an introduction and anything that comes before. So the prefix pre, before. And if it's before the line of reasoning, it's before the actual argument. And we also call those, I know, topic sentences or thesis statements or even claims. All those words are kind of bunched together as one. So knowing that, before you even go to the passage, I want you to look through the answer choices and know that A is most of the time on writing questions as it is now, which means as the sentence is printed in front of you in italics is as good as it's going to get. So that is what it is. However, we know that B, C, D, and E are different ways of writing that sentence, or better options than that sentence, right? Potentially. So as a team, or if you're by yourself, independently, think through what you notice about the beginnings of answer choices B, C, D, and E. And specifically, you're testing how it begins with what you know about a thesis statement that introduces a new argument. And just notice what you notice in your team, thinking about the very beginnings of the sentences. What do you notice that they mostly all do at the beginning? So press pause and I will be right back. Okay, so check what you were thinking with what I am noticing. I notice that B, C, and D all begin with what we call the transitional phrase or transitional words, or they give more information or they give different information. However, yet, while. Okay, so those words tell me that they're not going to be at the beginning because it's indicating that it's following something else and giving me more or additional, the same, different information. And then when I look at E, I read, obtaining access to a steady supply of food is crucial to the story of domestication of both species. Now, could that be at the beginning of an argument, like the main preview or topic introductory sentence of an argument, I'm not so sure, but I do know I can eliminate B, C, and D because those are phrases that tell me they're coming after something else that has come before. So take a moment now to consider how the italicized version, right, or option A is different from option E, because right now you're deciding which one is a better introductory sentence to your argument or to your line of reasoning, or which one is the topic or thesis. So I will see you in a minute after you press pause. So what I notice if I'm comparing A and E and trying to decide which is a better introduction to my argument or thesis, I'm thinking that E, obtaining access to a steady supply of food, is, so something is crucial, sounds like it's more of an example, right? They're talking about something specific that that indicates domestication of animals. And I haven't read the passage yet, right? So then I'm thinking that A, or as it is written in italics, is more of an overarching statement about both animals. So to me, that sounds like it is the best preview to a topic sentence or thesis. So that is the answer. So check through what you have come up with specifically around that thinking, or if you were with a partner, that discussion between A and E, and then also just reflect on how B, C, and D could not be the preview to an introduction or a line of reasoning or argument. And then we'll move on to question 2.